I am doing all that I possibly can to bring.
Oh man, I didn't know if we weren't going to get a cold
edit
open.
that out. Please edit that out.
I was worried we weren't getting a cold open today, and you just ask and ye shall receive.
And this is Gaytriarchs.
I'm starting with a rant. I'm starting with a double rant, and I'm just.
What's new?
I'm too old. I'm too old for this. So I have been a banking customer of Wells Fargo for 20 years, maybe. I don't know. It was like
not where I was expecting you to go today already. But let's go to Wells Fargo.
Get ready for the most nuanced old man argument of all time.
Yeah, get off your lawn.
I get corporate stuff, right? I get when you call the help desk of somebody, they have a script they're following or whatever. It annoys me a little bit because I just want to talk to a person and I want to tell you the thing I need and you're going to tell me how I get it and then we just end the phone call. I just want us to have the relationship that we both want out of this. Sure. So I get that, but I also get that, they're required to say things. Wells, if any of you out there have banked with Wells Fargo, it is so over the fucking top. It is, I will not go into our bank because it makes me so uncomfortable. So what I mean is I do a lot of, because when I play poker, I'll do cash transactions. So I have to go into the bank to do this. And you go in and you're like, hey, I'd like to make a deposit for, $1,000. They're like, great. How's your day going? Great. Thank you. Not working today? No, I'm just at lunch. Oh, great. Cool weather, right? You got any plans for later? I swear to God, Gavin, that is the interaction. And I know it's required of them because every time I go, no matter who it is, there are 3 or 4 questions that get a little personal. So my husband and I had to go into the bank to open a new account because you had to be there in person. And the woman called me before and she goes, hey, this is, I don't know, let's say Gavin. Hey, this is Gavin from Wells Fargo. I said, oh, hi. How you doing? And I said, is this to confirm my appointment for tomorrow? And she goes, yeah, how you doing today? I'm like, girl, I don't know what you think this relationship is, but it is strictly, are you coming to the appointment tomorrow? Yes, I am. And then we get there and she's like, it's just question after question of just empty bullshit. And it's, I am okay with a, how you doing? Or isn't it crazy windy today? But that's where I want you to stop talking. And I want you to just tell me business. I want to crawl out of my skin, and I know it's old of me, and I know I'm old man, I know I'm cranky, but does anybody else have this experience with Wells Fargo?
Listen, what is most apparent to me here is that you are a New Jerseyite in this story because you are, apparently Wells Fargo is taking all of its personnel training from the Midwest because that conviviality that's how the rest of the world is, except for the Northeast.
But is it friendly at the top? And then are friendly is different than hey, tell me your blood type. I'm like, girl, what are you doing here? I remember one time somebody being like, hey, no working today. I was like, what does that matter?
Right.
Why are we?
And why? It's also super presumptuous to be like, oh, why do you think it looks like I'm not working? Because I'm a man, or because
the OnlyFans server is down? What are you talking about? Anyway, I'm an old man.
I do think this is super New Jerseyite of you, not necessarily old man. But I would say that false charm and false corporate friendliness does grate on me big time. And the same thing goes for whenever I'm on the phone with customer service, and they just have to go through so many rigmaroles of they have such a scripted response to, oh yes, I understand your situation. Let me see how I can help you. And I'm like, just speak like a human being.
That's what I'm talking about. It's literally the personification of, I hope this email finds you well. I don't need that part of it. I don't need you to start the email. Just say, you owe us $500 and here's where to send the check. That's all I need. Anyway, I'm just, there's no point to this. I was going to say,
there is clearly no point to this, but I'm going to try to bring it back for this, our very bored listener thinking, what are they talking about? What does this have to do with parenting? But seriously, what does it have to do with parenting? Where you're like, here's another thing. I just want my kids to be kind and try hard in life. In the end, I just want them to be kind and try hard.
just don't want my kids to work for Wells Fargo. That's the only thing I want in life. But I'm also going to complain about something else that is very parenting related, but it's not really a complaint. It's more of overview or something I've noticed.
But definitely a double rant. Yes,
it's a double rant. So my son is really getting into rainbows and unicorns and fairies. And you know what? Listen, what that means, we all know. But there's just like, he's starting to really ask for like, I want the pink cake. I want he loves rainbows. So my husband and I are like, you know what?
Great.
Let's do a sweet thing and let's order him. He loves rainbows and hearts. So I was like, he likes zipper hoodies like his dad. So I was like, listen, let's get him a rainbow hoodie with hearts on it. So then we go on Amazon. We're like, rainbow hearts. The amount of gender separation between what rainbows are and what trucks and stuff, like we couldn't find anything in a quote unquote boy size, or everything that was rainbow was girl zipper hoodie. And it was so funny how like we really, even on Amazon, which has arguably everything for sale in the world, you can't find a boys. And first of all, the fact that it's separated by gender, that's another conversation. But it was just, my husband and I were like, wow, this is really weird. We can't find anything that's not purposely being driven for girls that has rainbows on it for boys. PJs, he wanted Elsa PJs. There's no boy Elsa PJs. Well, and I get that there's more girls who want it.
It's just in the name though, also, or the label, right? I mean, and it
in like the description,
says girls pajamas.
Yeah, it'll say girls zipper hoodie, girls rainbow zipper hoodie. Yeah.
What if a little pop up comes up when you hit click and you put it in your cart and it says, "But is this for a boy or is this for a girl?" And you think, "Wow, they're really double downing on this."
And you click on boy and it goes faggot, and you're like, "Whoa, Amazon, whoa."
Well, it is interesting. I actually thought that there was more of a push in the last couple of years to unisexualize the oh god, that was not a term that we should put out in
it maybe. I mean, there might have been, but it
unisexify the clothing, because Target has tried or pretended to do so, right? So
but I think Target is the seller versus Amazon, which is just a reseller. So it's like Amazon is not really controlling the titles of these captions. But it was just an interesting view that I've never like seen as a cisgender male who's generally into boy things, except Legally Blonde the musical. It's never
Why is that a girl thing? Listen,
I don't know.
You are part of the problem, David.
I am the problem.
It does not need to be so gendered. I mean, we absolutely put these expectations on genderizing everything, and it's absurd, because
that's like the third made up word you've had in this episode. So anyway, that's a double rant. But you know what else is terrible to listen to?
What?
Our top 3 list.
Gaytriarchs top 3 list. 3, 2, 1.
This week's topic is the worst qualities about you according to your husband. I almost said husband or partner, and I said heartsnans. Your heartner and
your heart on.
Worst qualities about you according to your heartner and heart on. And I want you to know that I'm reading this cold. Texted my partner earlier today and said, "Give this to me." And he's like, "Am I going to get in trouble for this?" I said, No. It's totally fine. We're in a safe space. Reading it cold.
I cannot believe, guys. This is,
in fact,
a big.
Do you want to read it?
I do. Send it to me right now. I'm going to read yours. Because while you're doing that, I want to tell. I consider when you suggested this, I was like, there is no way in hell my sensitive ass will ask my husband what these are, because no matter what they are, I will be hurt. So I was like, I'm writing this list, and I told him. He was like, yeah, no, I want to stay married to you. We're going to stay this. This is very exciting, though.
I am not kidding. I have not read this at all, and I just took a screenshot and sent it to David, and I heard the ding as it came through. So you get to read this.
All right. So I want to say that he started this text thread by saying, "You have more good traits than bad."
Oh,
so that's very sweet.
All right,
That's
very sweet.
But with that, I don't know what the order of these things are. So
you can order it however you want. You can do it on the fly. I have faith in you.
Right,
you teach improv.
Here we go. In number 3. You overpack the washing machine with too many clothes. Nothing gets washed that way.
True.
How do you feel about that? Is that true?
True. Absolutely true.
All right.
Absolutely true.
Number 2 for Gavin. You don't turn the coffee machine off after using it. It keeps just making that heating sound every 3 minutes. Annoying. He said every 3 minutes, ... annoying.
But I leave it on for him because I'm generally up before him and I make coffee. We have a Keurig, which don't get me started on that because our previous coffee machine was perfectly fine, but he had to get a Keurig. So I leave it on for him because all right.
All right. And the number one thing that most annoys your husband about you, you badger the kids to do things, reading, practice piano, chores, to their frustration, and then you keep going. So not knowing when to quit. Wow. He is ice cold.
And he is 1,000% correct about that, especially that last one. I actually didn't realize that I overstuffed the washing machine. He's never verbalized that, but okay. But now he has on national radio.
God, our listener is just lapping up the drama. So that was fantastic. So I'll go for my top 3 traits that I think are annoying to my husband. I refuse to ask him.
Wow, I have so many thoughts about your relationship now. But anyway, go ahead.
All right. So in number 3, when I am like in my phone, like if I'm texting or emailing, the rest of the world does not exist. I can't hear my husband screaming, "I'm on fire" 10 feet away from me if I'm looking at an Instagram comment. Something about that phone just pulls me in a way that fucking infuriates him. Number 2, always looking at myself in the mirror and hating myself. My husband catches me do that all the time, and he gets so mad at me, because he thinks I'm beautiful and wonderful the way I am.
Duh.
And also, he's like, don't let the kids see you hating yourself every time you pass something.
You do need to start loving yourself a little bit to set a good example for your kiddos. That's for sure.
I do. That's true. And the number one, I think, most annoying thing about me to my husband, I drag him to open houses that we can't afford every single weekend. Every single weekend, I'm like, I want to look at this house. He's like, how much would this cost us? I'm like, just $10,000 a month. He's like, David, on what fucking planet can we afford that? And I'm like, no, we can make it work. And I make him go to open houses every single weekend.
Do you bring the kids also? Is this another example of your activities, inappropriate activities for kids? Oh, whoops, wait a minute. That's next week's topic, but...
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh yeah.
Our listener understands.
So sometimes we bring the kids and sometimes we get a babysitter. But I literally am like, no, we're gonna buy this house. He's like, David, this house is $10 million. We have $11 in our bank account. What are you talking about? So that's my most annoying quality, I think, to my husband.
So will this be a topic for another top 3 list sometime when your kids would say the same thing? The most annoying thing about daddy is that he drags us to something called an open house.
No, because they get to play in these houses. They get to just like explore these fucking cavernous giant homes with big yards and, yeah.
And see how the other half lives. Okay. Yeah. All right. So what is next week's topic?
Next week, I want to know your top 3 non-traditional places to bring a toddler just to run around.
Kind of like an open house.
Yeah.
So our next guest needs very little introduction beyond the fact that he was named by Soap Opera Digest their most entertaining male character. Not only is he a big-time actor, a big-time daddy, a big-time zaddy, he's also got the sexiest name to ever grace the Gaytriarch studio. Welcome, Tuc Watkins.
Wow, what an introduction. Can I just lead off by saying high marks for the title?
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Really, high marks. I love a pun, and it sort of names itself, doesn't it?
Totally.
It really does. So. Yeah.
It's like nothing but cakes. I love that.
Well, yeah,
that's my grinder handle. Nothing but cakes.
Yeah. The hand job nail and spa. It's a real place, by the way.
Yeah.
That's not a surprise in the slightest bit. So tell us, how have your kids driven you bananas today?
I unfortunately am a Swiftie now.
Oh my God.
Relatable.
Oh my God.
I know where this is going.
I never saw it coming. My daughter plays DJ on the way to school every morning.
Yep.
My son allows it, and I just sort of allow it. And I don't know if you are aware of this or not, but she's got a new album dropping. the Tortured Poets department. I even know the name of the album.
Mm-hmm.
I've really grown to like her music.
Hey, own it.
Yeah.
My boyfriend says that is so basic of you.
All right, well, but I have to say it was a very big morning for us. Very early this morning too. As my daughter, first of all, she said, "Will you wake me up at midnight?" And I'm like, "No." Because I am not going to wake up at midnight to listen to it. But I did end up getting her up. She's a middle schooler. We were up well before the sun and another hour ahead of that. So at 5 a.m. we were there listening to listening to the album and talking about the Chelsea Hotel and Patti Smith and Dylan Thomas and
but at least you guys are being forced to listen to a great musical artist. I'm still in the Blippi era. I have to listen to I'm an excavator every fucking morning right now. At least you get to listen to real music.
Yeah, Thomas the Tank Engine is very triggering for me. Because I would listen to that stuff at 4 a.m. when my babies wouldn't sleep.
Yeah,
and it's like torture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing those little things that like can bring you back to the painful part. Like I've said this before, but like there's a light at my neighbor's house across the street that I used to stare at like 3 a.m. while I fed my infants, and it just every time I see that light out of context, I just kind of shudder and thinking about waking up for the 5th time that night. Yeah.
Daniel Tiger, parents come back. Ugh.
Grown-ups come back. Ding ding. Yeah.
The worst. We survived it.
Yeah.
You will.
Yeah.
You will survive it, David. You'll get to the other end.
Yeah. And so everything is like totally hunky-dory and easy now as a dad then, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm nailing it. People are writing articles about me. I'm being invited on podcasts because I'm just really at the top of my game.
Tuc, getting calls from CPS is not having articles written about you. I hope you understand the difference. Okay.
They are articles.
Any press is good press. So then take us back. How did you become a dad?
First of all, I always knew I was going to be a dad. It wasn't that I wanted to be a dad. I always knew I was going to be a dad ever since I was young. So it was more than a desire. It was just what I knew to be true. And when I was younger, I didn't know how I was going to become a dad. I knew I was gay. I didn't want to get into a relationship that wasn't true. I thought, how am I going to do this? I thought about adoption. I thought about fostering. I first heard about surrogacy in the 90s. I started keeping a file on this place called Growing Generations in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in a 12-year relationship when I was late 30s into 40s. He and I talked about maybe doing it together. He was more along the lines of, well, if Tuc, you want to do this, then I guess we'll do this. And I thought, that's not how you have kids.
Yeah.
And he and I did split up. That was not the reason we split up. We're still friendly, but we did split up. And at that point, the only thing I knew, I was 40, I think 45 at the time. The only thing I knew for sure, I didn't know if I still wanted to be an actor. I didn't know if I wanted to live in LA. All I knew was I was going to be a dad now.
Mm-hmm.
And Desperate Housewives, which I had been on for a while, that place afforded me to build a house that I thought was going to be the house that I raised my family in. And so when that house was complete, I had no money. And so I had to sell that house in order to engage with a surrogacy agency, which ended up being Growing Generations.
Uh-huh.
And then me and my kids lived in a tiny rental. So we did not have the gorgeous English country house with the 2-story guest house and the pool that I built.
Oh.
We had a tiny little house, and it was perfect because I had my kids.
Yeah. And when they complain about like, why don't we have a big house? You're like, baby, look in the mirror. You're the house. This is the house alive. Right there. Yes.
You're alive.
It's all your fault.
Yeah.
So you did surrogacy. Tell us a little about gestational surrogacy and kind of like
So I thought, I think surrogacy is for me the idea that if I could see myself and my own children selfishly and egotistically, I just felt like that would be wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know you guys talked to Stuart Bell recently.
Yes.
I met Stuart Bell
of Growing Generations.
At Growing Generations. And he and his company matched me with a surrogate. I thought I would get to choose my own surrogate. I thought it would be like online dating. I would get to go like, oh, I get to choose my own surrogate. That was not how they did it, and I balked at that at first. And they said, no, we will match you with someone that we think is right. And I was like, okay. And they did, and they were absolutely right. I met a wonderful woman and her husband. I didn't really consider the husband when I thought about it. I didn't consider him until I met him, and he was also lovely. Their 3 kids were lovely. We still called them our Texas cousins.
That's fantastic.
So I got matched, and it was not a perfect process. It was a very expensive process.
Yeah. Sure.
But about a year and a half later, I had my kids. So my answer was surrogacy.
And it was twins?
Yes. Well, the first, I was aiming for one initially, but I have a younger sister, and she and I have always been really tight. And I kind of wanted a similar situation for my kid. And I thought, how am I going to have my second kid? And after going through the expense and I thought surrogacy would be more fun. It was actually full of a lot of anxiety and it was very difficult. And so when the first transfer didn't work, the second transfer, we transferred more than one. And I thought, well, if I end up having twins, I'm okay with that. And so was my surrogate, and so was our fertility doctor. I thought, well, if it happens this way and I just happen to have 2 at once, then that's how I'll do it, because I don't know if I could go through this again. It was really draining in a lot of ways. And two took. A boy and a girl took. And so I had both of my kids at the same time. And a lot of that was really hard. The first 5 years were actually really hard for me.
Sure.
The first 5 years were hell. Whenever I thought about being a dad my whole life, I didn't realize until they handed me babies that I never thought about anyone younger than 5.
Yes, we talked about this. We talked about this on a previous episode where men in general, when they imagine being dads, it's like a 5-year-old.
Yeah,
they never think about babies.
Kicking a soccer ball to somebody who can theoretically kick it back, not diapers.
And that, not to be reductive about it, but it's not so much a man in sports, that's how we communicate. But there was something about it was just more in my wheelhouse, interacting with kids, with children, as opposed to babies. And I've met a lot of this is sort of a blanket statement, but I've met a lot of women who loved 0 to 5. And when they started becoming kids, they're like, oh, I miss my babies. I did not miss my babies. I loved having my kids. But yeah, those first 5 years were really hard.
Yeah. And you were a single dad in Hollywood with twins. And but tell us about how you came you didn't have your journey documented in the press. You made an announcement about all aspects of your life, right?
Are you talking about when I came out on the Marie Osmond show?
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
I am. Well, hey, everybody's got a story.
What ding dong comes out on the Marie Osmond show?
This ding dong.
Well, so yeah, I was on Desperate Housewives, and Kevin Rahm and I played the gay couple on Desperate Housewives for a handful of years. And near the end of that show, his character and my character, we were trying to have kids. And in real life, I was a single gay guy trying to have kids, but I wasn't talking about it. I wasn't telling the cast or anything, because if it didn't work, I didn't want to, I just wanted to do it privately.
Yeah.
And so, life was imitating art. And then when my kids were born in December, and I was invited to be on the Marie Osmond show to talk about nonsense, I thought, this is what I want to talk about. And, people, and so that's technically where I came out. But, coming out is a really weird thing, because people will say, well, why aren't you out? Or why didn't you come out before? Or why did you come out so late? you can't come out if you're an actor. You can't come out publicly unless you're given a platform.
Mhm.
And I hadn't really been given that many platforms. That's not to say that this is my excuse, because for a long time I didn't want to be out, for sure, because I was an actor in the 90s and I wanted to play straight parts. I wanted to play everything. But I think a lot of people get taken to task for not coming out. But if you do an interview just to come out, it looks like a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really serve anybody. So there I was on Marie Osmond, and I was talking about having my kids, and it just felt right, and it just felt like the time. And I thought, my kids don't need a dad who's dodging questions and stuff like that. So that was the first time I really talked about it, I guess, publicly. Even Marie Osmond said, "Is this the first time you're talking about this publicly?" And I thought, I don't know, maybe. I don't really. Do I feel like I want to say that? And I heard the producer in her ear say, "Ask him again." And she said, "But is this the first time you've talked about it, in public?" And I said, "Well, you're the first Osmond that I've told." and the audience laughed, and she looked at me like,
Yeah, good. But that's the thing I think a lot of people don't realize about Hollywood when they think like, oh, people coming out, not coming out. There is kind of two parts of you, right? There's you as the person, and your friends know you're gay, and that's you're not out, you're out. There's no in of the closet. But there is a public version of you that's mostly you, that is crafted, and you have agents and PR and people, and there are times where they're like, if you want to keep playing straight parts, maybe just, and you're like, well, I'm out as a person. We all know people in Hollywood or in Broadway who are publicly straight and privately gay. And it's not that they're not out, but they're not out as their actor persona. And it sounds like that's the position you were in.
I was, and I kind of used that to my advantage, I would have to say, up until 2013. Fortunately, I think we live in an era where you really don't have to do that anymore. And I've never played more straight parts since I came out. I've played a lot of gay parts in the past when I was in the closet, and now that I've been much more vocal about who I am as a real person. I'm recurring on 2 different shows right now as straight people, and straight people are boring, to tell you the truth. I love playing the gay parts that I've been afforded to play, but it's a weird journey. Everybody's got their own journey, and that's just part of my story.
Gavin, you're muted. He's so bad at this, Tuc. We are. This is episode 63, and he still just doesn't understand Google Docs.
I mean, I guess I was polite enough to turn it off when I coughed, but I was just going to say, it does seem like you've been blessed in your career to play a lot of zany, lewdy, fun characters, right? I mean, you've got matinee idol looks, but you got to be the funny guy an awful lot of the time, right?
Yeah, my first big job was on One Life to Live, a soap opera, One Life to Live, and I was hired to be this cool, mysterious guy, and I tried doing that. I tried being cool and mysterious, and there were 20 other guys on the show who were also cool and mysterious, and they were so good at it, and I tried to be cool and mysterious, and I was unremarkable. But I loved being on that show. It was super fun. And I thought, if I can't find my place on the show, I'm going to lose my place on this show. And after being there for about a year, I accidentally fell down the stairs when I shouldn't have, and everybody laughed, and I was humiliated. But that's when something clicked for me, and this cool, mysterious character I was playing, I realized he's not a cool, mysterious character. He thinks he's a cool, mysterious character.
Nice.
And so he became sort of this idiot. Yeah. He was sort of, if James Bond had an idiot brother, it was this guy. And that really opened a door for me. And it carved out a different color on the tapestry than that others weren't doing.
Yeah.
And so I sort of found my place doing that. So I think part of that is what helped me not get pigeonholed as, he's just a guy on soaps, because what I was doing there was sort of atypical for what they do there traditionally.
And it did give you longevity, because you can get pigeonholed as being a soap actor, but you burst through that for sure. That's great.
Well, I think less and less now. I think we're held less and less to our previous projects because of streaming platforms, because people can make their own product. But yeah, I think that has gotten a lot better so people don't have to be so worried about what their last job was.
How has parenting helped you in your career?
Or has it just totally destroyed it?
Or destroyed it?
I thought it would help me more. Honestly, I thought, I'll be that single gay guy that has kids, and that'll make me unique, and that will make me a commodity, and the offers are going to start pouring in. It didn't really happen that way. How has it made me different?
Have you tried to turn them back in then because they didn't help your career?
Yeah.
No, that expiration date passed.
Well, you know what? In all sincerity, has it made you a better actor being a dad?
I don't know. What I do think has made me a better actor is being an actor as long as I have. Mm-hmm. I think it was Cillian Murphy who recently said that someone told him it takes 30 years to make an actor. Oh. And I think that it's not necessarily true because you have kids who win Oscars and stuff. But I do think age, experience, more failure than success has made me a more grounded actor. I now play the older guy. Mm-hmm. I was never the older guy in a show or a play or a movie, and now I play the older guy, and somehow that feels more right. Mm-hmm. But I will say I'm working on this Hulu series that Dan Fogelman, the guy that did This Is Us, he's got this new series called Paradise City, and I'm recurring on that show, and I have to do a scene that's very emotional at one point, and I no longer. This is going to sound terrible. I no longer have to think about my dog from college dying to make myself sad. I have something much closer to home now that if I think about losing that thing, it's right there, and it's not really fabricated. It's very prescient. Yeah. So in that way, I feel like I have more access. I have more access to all of my feelings.
Yes, it's so true. They're all right under the surface. Like Agreed. I could tear a bobcat's head off with my bare hands when my toddler won't put his shoes on, and I'm like, I never had that access before. That's wonderful. So if you're out there struggling as an actor, have children.
Absolutely, it makes everything. It makes your acting, makes your auditions easier.
Yeah.
You have been on a rather unique journey, also in sobriety that you have brought up with me. And I would love for you to tell us a little bit about that, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, let's see. Like I said, I always wanted to be a dad. I always thought I would be a good dad. Everyone around me thought, Tuc, you're going to be an amazing dad. My family thought I would be a great dad, my friends. And I absolutely thought the same thing. And then I had my kids and I panicked. I was overwhelmed. I was doing it on my own. I wasn't working as much as I wanted to. I was living on savings, and I was here with these two kids. And like I said, at 4 a.m, listening to Thomas the Tank Engine sing those horrible songs. Yep. And I thought, wait a second, what happened? And I poured booze all over it. I started drinking to cope. Mm-hmm. So I realized I need to stop drinking. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I couldn't. It was really hard. And I knew I needed to get sober, and I wanted to get sober, but it just wasn't taking from me. And so, I started a recovery program, and fortunately, I was able to get through that and become a sober person. I've been sober for 5 years and some change now. And thank goodness, because I used to, when I was trying to stop drinking, I would think, well, at 5 o'clock when I've gotten through my day, and I need to, how am I going to unwind? I'm so wound up. How am I going to unwind? And it was kind of a trick question, because the truth is, when I finally did learn how to stop drinking, and I did stop drinking with some time, what I found was I don't get wound up. Mm-hmm. I go through really hard stuff, and it's frustrating, but I don't need to unwind anymore. And and so I think drinking the way that I was actually winding me up more than my kids were, than what I thought was winding me up. It was actually the way I was living, and so being able to get through the stuff that's hard, and at the end of the day, I don't feel like I need to reach for anything. And my goodness, what a great gift that is. But what I also say to, people when we start to talk about sobriety gets very serious. I'm still fun. I still love to have fun. My friends and I still have fun. I haven't become, I don't feel like I've become, the kind of what sobriety was to me before I was sober was like, I don't know. Let's keep that over there.
Yeah.
And when I first got before I got sober, I never considered dating someone who was sober.
Yeah.
I just felt like, I don't think that's for me. And then once I got sober, I kind of felt like I don't really want to date anyone who's not sober.
Yeah.
So it's been great for me. And it was really hard. It was it was harder for me to stop drinking than it was to get through the hard times with my kids. But once I was actually able to do that, it's pretty terrific on this side of the fence.
Well, I'm curious as to what you think about Gavin, because Gavin is not sober and also not fun. So I'm curious as to what the solution is there.
Could you imagine if you remove the alcohol, he's less than nothing,
even
right?
less. Yes, I get fired from the podcast every single day, and
literally before you showed up, I texted him. I said, "You're fired."
Yeah,
we had just recorded another episode.
Luckily, as long as I have alcohol jokes to be able to make, whether or not they're true, I have them. Even if I am sober, I'm still going to make alcohol jokes. So now
I was just gonna say I so relate. I've never dealt with, I feel like, alcoholism in the way that maybe you have, but I definitely struggled to quit smoking. I was a cigarette smoker for about 10 years. And of course I started because I was doing a show where they had a weight restriction and you couldn't gain more or lose more than 5 pounds. And I panicked. And so I started smoking to curb my appetite. But I remember having to quit smoking and how fucking impossible it felt. And I was like, this must be what it feels like, because like alcohol to me, like I could not drink for 6 months and forget that I didn't drink. Like it just, but cigarettes hit me that way where I was
Absolutely.
like, and then when I had quit and I was finally done, I remember at the year mark feeling like, oh, the problem was the solution. Like you're saying, we're like, oh, I don't need that cigarette to unwind after a meal anymore because the cigarette was making me need the cigarette. Right? Like that nicotine was the withdrawal was the thing that I needed to cure. So anyway, yeah.
And smoking is fantastic. I loved smoking. It was so great. So wonderful.
Smoking is so great.
And it's too bad it's so horrible and disgusting and deadly because it's
great. It's great. For all the kids listening, smoking, solid. So A+.
So just don't start. Yeah. Just don't start.
Deadline. Tuc Watkins says kids should start smoking. Yeah.
So you have been a single dad for a long time, but you are also right now in a relationship. And I'm curious, how often does your boyfriend just like screw it all up?
Less and less. My boyfriend, his name's Andrew Reynolds. He and I met doing a play on Broadway where we played boyfriends and then we became boyfriends. And it's been a really interesting journey. And how does he screw it? He screws it up. He screws it up because, like, when we go on vacation, he thinks buying souvenirs for my kids is just like a rite of passage. It's not a privilege. It's your right when you're on vacation. When we go to movies, he buys all the candy. He buys all the popcorn.
Yeah. No limits.
That's just what you do.
Yep. No.
So that's where he kind of ruins all of it.
Does he ever have they ever said they prefer him to you?
They've never said it, but it is intimated when we walk into any store or when we're going somewhere where you can get something. Mm-hmm. Suddenly the alliance is shit.
That makes perfect sense, and I'm not surprised in the slightest bit. So thanks for screwing it up, but I'm glad he's doing it less and less.
Gavin, is that the hot lawn guy that's cutting
that's in
your lawn right now?
That's Tuc's phone.
That's Tuc. Okay.
Yeah, I believe Tuc has both been in an airplane and on a riding lawnmower in this conversation, but we love it because his hair is so great. So, what about those horror stories from back in the day when you think, when I am an old man in diapers, I will never forget the time when my toddler...
I have flashbacks of, I remember going through 20 diapers a day with twins.
Oh my God, you did twins. Ugh.
There were 20. I went through 3 different diaper genies. The diaper genies, that specific trash can that I wore out the springs and the plastic. I went through 3 of those. But the really sort of more difficult or humiliating, not humiliating, but trying was, I got when my daughter was in 3rd grade, I got a call from the school saying, look, we know you're a gay dad, and we know you're a single gay dad, but your daughter is telling people that her mother's dead.
Jesus.
Like, oh. And I thought, oh no, I failed, because I pride myself about trying to talk to my kids about difficult issues, pregnant or surrogacy, what being gay means, what being allergic to alcohol means, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And so after school, I picked her up and I said, look, I understand you might be having a hard time talking about, that you don't have a mom, and, Surro Melissa, surrogate, she loves you so much, and our Texas cousins, they come to visit us, and we have so many great women in our life. She's like, no, Daddy, I'm fine. I just hate answering all the questions about surrogacy. There's so many questions about surrogacy. I just say she's dead, and people stop asking questions.
She's a genius. She found a shortcut.
Thought,
she's like, I got this.
So once I realized she was fine, she was just shorthanding it. It was okay. It was okay. So I thought
good.
She was not damaged. She was just clever.
She's a clever girl. I mean, that's incredible. That's what you want, right? So a follow-up to that, and this is a question we ask all of our guests. What is your favorite part of parenting, and what's your least favorite part of parenting?
I think my favorite part of parenting is I have a profound sense of contentment that I didn't used to have. Before I had kids, things would make me happy. Getting a great job, a boyfriend, a vacation, things would make me happy. And if I had something that I liked, then I was happy. As a dad, I just find that I feel profoundly content. And I know that sounds sort of like a Hallmark card, but I am so happy just being around my own kids. And, I had a really good friend, Roger Howarth. He and I worked on a soap opera together. And the piece of parenting advice he gave to me when my kids were really young was, he's like, just be present. You don't have to play the game, but be in the room while the game is being played. And I have used that advice, and I have really run with that. And I find it to be so true that if I don't want to play Payday, I don't have to. Mm-hmm. But sit on the couch and read my book while they're playing Payday. Yeah. I think really, really pays off. So I think the best part is I feel content so much of the time, and that's something you can't really buy. Mm-hmm. The worst part, mm-hmm. I do this thing. We probably all do this, but I think me in particular, because I had my kids when I was 46. I do this thing where I sort of flash forward, and I think about all the things that I'm going to miss because I will have passed. And my kids will still be alive. Mm-hmm. And I get all emotional and sad about, like, will I see them have kids? And I want to. And so that's difficult. It's kind of wistful, but what it does in a really positive way, I do live my life a little bit differently. I'm so glad I stopped drinking. Everything's better with I heard a doctor once say, no one over 50 should really be drinking any booze anyway. The whole myth about red wine and the heart, it's kind of BS. Anyway, I do eat better. I do exercise differently. I exercise to be healthy rather than big and muscly like I used to want to be. And I don't thrill seek. I have no interest in skydiving or bungee jumping or any of that stuff because I just want to be around to see as much of whatever my kids are up to mm-hmm. as I can. And that is, sometimes it's a melancholy feeling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's a true feeling for sure.
Yeah.
Tuc, thank you for bringing that truth to us and all of the fantastic zaddy
Background
vibes
noise.
that you bring.
Yeah. Please send
the
thanks to
background
the lawn care
Oh, look,
service
he
next
stopped.
door that's been joining us.
He
Right at
stopped.
the end of the interview, he stopped.
Let's
That's
just
fantastic.
Let's just start over right now.
Well, we would never ask you to demean yourself twice by being on our stupid little podcast. So thank you for being here once. It was fantastic.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Tuc.
It's really nice to meet you guys. I'm going to go listen to all 65 episodes of Gaytriarchs.
Please do. And you're going to notice the theme is that Gavin ruins things. So this is not unique today. No.
Tuc, you're the best. Thanks so
Thank you,
much.
guys. It's really nice talking to you.
So my something great is something great, but also really a gift to you, Gavin.
Oh.
So we were reached out to by this woman, Sam, at a new podcast called Baby Ready, which we should all subscribe to. And she wanted to interview me. And I was like, oh, that's kind of fun to be interviewed. And so I went on her show and she was lovely and we talked. And it was wonderful too, because shockingly, people listen to the show. I still can't believe it. But she was like, as she was introing me, she was like, and my favorite part is there's something great segment. And I always look forward to their top 3 segment. And I was like, you really do listen to this show, which blows my mind that we have even one listener, let alone thousands.
Right.
So
right.
Anyway, so that was my something great. But then on top of that, after we recorded and we were talking, she goes, and you know, one of my favorite things that I did not fall asleep to, and I actually was really into, was Gavin's stats on gay people and their marriage, and I didn't fall asleep. And I was like, he is going to love. She was like, I was driving somewhere and I had to pull over and I stayed in the car because I wanted to listen to all the stats he was reading because I was very interested. And I was like, he is going to love hearing that. So that is my something great. It's my gift to you. Everyone, please, Sam at Baby Ready Podcast. Thank you so much for interviewing me and giving Gavin this gift.
I think, listen, I had so many things lined up to talk about my something great here, but I just love that Sam loved data. So I think I'm going to say talking about nerdy things like data and research is my something great because it simplifies everything and helps us understand things from the similar perspective. So yeah, I'm going to go with data and Sam. And compliments towards me. Thanks for passing that on, David, even though I kind of feel like you went and had a podcast affair on me, but that's cool.
I did have a podcast affair on you, and it did hurt me considerably to give you that gift of a positive affirmation.
I hope you were thinking about me the entire time.
I was.
And that's our show. If you have any comments, suggestions, or general compliments, you can email us at GaytriarchsPodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can DM us on Instagram. We are at GaytriarchsPodcast. On the internet, David is at David FM Vaughn everywhere, and Gavin is at Gavin Lodge on La Crusette.
Please leave us a glowing 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts.
Thanks, and we'll compliment you next time on another episode of Gaytriarchs.